Hey, this is Brendan from Comic Con. We are doing this is I can't even believe we've been doing this as long, but this is our 14th happy hour, 14th official happy hour. There've been some spin-offs or whatever, but we're doing Godzilla again. And on camera with us today, we've got producer Erik again, and Anton Kromoff is here. And again, we have Cullen Bunn, and we're going to sit here and talk about Cullen's favorite monster,
Godzilla?
King Kong. Right?
No,
Is it not King Kong?
never.
No.
I like King Kong, but he is not my favorite. Sorry, pals.
Nice. All right. So, you guys, the last time we did this, I think Minus One was about to come out. I haven't seen it in the theaters yet. You guys have. So, go ahead. Let's. What is the best thing about this? It's kind of a reboot of the series, right? It's like going back to the original movie and kind of updating it for modern times.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess that's a. I mean, it's. I feel like it's kind of reductive of what this movie is, though. I mean, it's so much more than just a reboot of Godzilla. I don't know. It was my number one movie of last year. I think that it was my favorite movie of all the movies I've watched last year. It is. I've said elsewhere, it's not my favorite Godzilla movie, but I think it is the best Godzilla movie.
Oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting distinction.
I like it because I feel like it really captured the horror of Godzilla in a way that I have not been worried or sort of scared, terrified, whatever kind of shivering in your boots term you want to use, by a giant monster rolling in out of the sea and blowing some stuff up. Like that doesn't scare me. It probably should. There's probably something inside me that's wrong that I'm just like, that's rad, But this one, Minus One, has, even in a way that like Shin Godzilla, which is more monstrous and scary, wasn't able to do, sets this really cool, uneasy atmosphere, like that makes the forebodingness of Godzilla coming at you kind of terrifying. It's really it's artistic in the way that the fear comes across, and there's also a lot of sort of mental anguish and like human character study that happens that I think adds to it, that creates like the atmosphere of the movie. It's a strong piece. I don't think Cullen's off base when he says it's probably my number one of 2023 as well.
Now, one of the things that they did with the old movies is I know they recorded it in Japan with the Japanese actors, and then they would take that footage and cut out the Japanese actors and put the American actors in. That it's nothing like that, right? It's like dubbed, or is it?
This is a Japanese movie, and it's not dubbed; it's subtitled at this point. It's not. There's no Raymond Burr coming up and joining the cast.
Nice.
So,
and I think. And I went through, because I haven't seen the film yet, so I was reading a bunch of stuff, the reviews and things like that. And like the biggest complaint that I saw that people had was that the monster is not in it enough.
Oh,
and I think that's really, I think that's really odd. And so I went and looked up what are all the times, what are all the percentages, what are all the running time, and how many minutes Godzilla is in each of the films. So, Cullen, what is your number one Godzilla out of the Showa and the Heisei eras?
Ooh, doggies. So I'm gonna have to go with Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla as my from Showa, and from the next one's a tough one. I might go with Destroya out of the other one.
Okay, let me find Destroya real quick. Okay. So Destroya is actually pretty big. Godzilla versus Destroya. Godzilla was in that film 20 minutes and 15 seconds out of 103 minutes, which is 19.6% of the runtime. But then you go back to Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. He was in it for 8 minutes out of 84, which is only 9%. The average for any film is about 12 minutes. And these films are running almost 2 hours now. So the complaint that the monster's not in there, it's like, first of all, what's the first rule of horror is don't show the monster, right?
Yeah, for sure. Godzilla's never been in any of these movies for a long time. He's not there for a long time. He's there for a good time.
Truth. I mean, it's like Casablanca, right? Like what Humphrey Bogart shows up in like the last act, the third act. The first two acts are just people talking about Rick and when's Rick gonna be here and how cool Rick is and like
No, that's the Third Man.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yes,
Yeah,
that one.
Casablanca, that's definitely the Third Man. Where it's like
And
an
then the
hour and 10
third,
minutes of
then
people
Rick
talking
comes
about
in
Orson
and just
Welles.
knocks buildings down. He's like,
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
He's got the
Like,
radioactive.
Orson Welles knocks. Where are they? That's not Vienna. I can't remember what town they're in. But yeah, this European town wrecked by war. A giant Orson Welles appears and demolishes everything.
You just described
Nice.
Transformers, the movie, by the way.
It is Transformers the movie. It is, yeah.
Nice.
I play a large toy that destroys a bunch of smaller toys.
Yes.
Is this real? Are you guys? This is just stuff.
Orson Welles' final movie was Unicron in Transformers.
Yeah.
And he was awesome.
He really was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do my first drink because there's ice melting into it, and this one's
Yeah, mine's
tasty.
melting
So
too.
this is I saw this. I was looking for stuff in the Bevmo, and I saw this. It's Ancho Reyes. What the hell is it? It's Ancho Reyes Chili Ancho Liqueur. This one right here. And I love spicy stuff, and it says it's spicy, so I went to go give this one a try. And on the Ancho website, they had this one. They call it the Ancho Reyes Old Fashioned. It's 1 part Ancho Reyes Original, 1 part bourbon, 1/4 part simple syrup, 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, and 2 dashes of orange bitters. I garnished mine with a very spicy little pickled jalapeno on a tiny little sword.
So,
And
hey,
yes.
Brendan, what is Ancho Reyes, though? What kind of liquor?
It doesn't. I don't know.
Oh, it's its
I don't
own.
know, but
It's its own thing.
It's 40% alcohol by volume, so that's 80 proof. It says Clásico Licor de Clásico Licor Mexicano, so it's the classic Mexican liquor.
Okay.
It's made from. Oh, here we go. Ancho Reyes is made from the beloved and unique chili ancho and inspired by a 1920s era recipe from the town of Puebla de Zaragoza, where we make Ancho Reyes today. Influenced by old world liqueurs, Ancho Reyes is of the earth, evoking a sense of timelessness and expressing the essential flavors of Mexico. They don't ever say.
Wow. All right. Fair enough.
It says you can drink it neat. It says shake it with ice, strain into it, whatever. Okay, so I found this recipe, and it's an old fashioned with Ancho Reyes in there, spicy. And that's odd. Okay, so I was expecting like chili pepper spice, right? But what I'm picking up in there is like a really heavy cinnamon flavor. And there's nothing in here that I put in that was cinnamon, but it's really nice. It goes down nice. It's got a little bit of an afterburn in the back of the throat right here. And I don't know if that came from my pickled jalapeno that's been sitting in it for 20 minutes now, or if it's from the bottle itself. But that's really nice. I think I'll make that one again. Everybody's like, okay, fair.
No,
fair.
I mean, I wrote it down so that I could try to find that Ancho Reyes stuff myself.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
Tough because you don't like I don't think the three of us have kind of a basis for what it could even possibly taste like, right?
It's delicious, is what it tastes like. Be jealous. That's what it tastes like.
Fair enough.
And that just kicked it off right there. So, eating the pickled jalapeno while you're drinking the drink, that's the ticket. That is so good. I'm gonna drink the whole rest of this right now.
You're gonna be drunk before you know it.
How do you know I'm not drunk already?
I figured you were.
All right, so -1. And have you guys seen the trailer for the new one, the Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire 2024?
Yes.
Yeah.
The teaser and the trailer. Yeah.
I think I've only seen the teaser. That's the one where they're both running from the explosion, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're running.
What was Godzilla running?
What is going on?
And that's the big controversy, right? Is that Godzilla running is something that we've never really seen before, except for the knockoff 1998 Godzilla, right?
Yeah, I think that's what people don't like about it is they're seeing Godzilla run. And I also I think Brendan lost sound or something, but he just looks like he's really puzzled over Godzilla running. He's like,
no, I don't know what the hell just happened, but it was like I said the trailer. I said the words trailer for Godzilla Kong New Empire, and it started playing. The trailer started playing in my ear, and it comes out with this really loud Japanese like flute music. And I didn't know who was playing it, but it turns out it was my computer doing some weird like voice to text thing or something, and starting
No.
the. So anyway, yeah, I'm back. I'm back. So repeat everything you just said over the last 15 seconds.
Godzilla runs.
Godzilla
Yeah,
runs.
but I don't know if Godzilla's running away from something or if he's charging towards something. Because to
All I know is he's
me,
running.
well,
Well,
but it looks like he's undergone a chrysalis, right? So it looks like because to me again, I could just totally be like being Anton, but it looks like he's gone through like an evolutionary stage, like a Pokemon or I'm a Pokemon fan. I'm just making fun words there. Like Pokemon or like Mothra, because he's got like the purple spikes and he looks
changes.
a little
He
yeah, it
definitely
looks
changes if the toys are to be believed. He goes through a metamorphosis.
so it looks like he's more like lean and like now he's instead of being fun waddle Godzilla that just sort of dun 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 into battle. It looks like he's just like rolling into it.
I really hope in the middle of this movie she's just like, you know what? Oh hell no, enough of this. And he just pulls off the Godzilla fat suit and he's the Godzilla from the TriStar movie. And he's just like running.
Just like sprinting through it.
Now, so the official description here says the new installment, it should say newest, but the new installment in the MonsterVerse puts the Mighty Kong, that's right, and the fearsome Godzilla against a colossal deadly threat hidden within our world that threatens the existence of their species and our very own, as well as diving deep into the mysteries of Skull Island and beyond. Delving straight into the origins of Hollow Earth, this film will explore the ancient Titan battle that brought man. That should be brought. God, there's typos all over this thing. Who wrote this? This film will explore the ancient Titan battle that brought man and monster together forever. So Godzilla will not be fighting Kong because he knows he will lose. He has enlisted the stronger, superior monster to fight this hidden threat.
All right, well, Brendan, let me drop some science on you real quick. Godzilla is a giant atomic god lizard, and Kong is a great monkey. He's a wonderful ape, right? but
gorillas are apes. They're
yeah,
apes.
that's fine. If
Not
you've
monkeys.
seen the action figures, I don't know if you have, but see, Kong has to wear armor, gauntlet, weapon to even come close to being as powerful as Godzilla. He needs his axe, or he needs some sort of tree to throw, or some sort of 100%.
No. See, here's the thing:
Mm-mm.
is the great ape is so advanced over lizards.
We're not talking about Grape Ape. Grape Ape is Hanna-Barbera. That's not where we're at.
He was pretty
He's
cool.
able to
Grape Ape is
fashion
awesome.
and
They're
use
both
tools to his end.
His end. Godzilla is eternal. Kong has an end. Fair enough. His end. You're right. His end. I sit not corrected.
Look, I don't
All right,
know.
Cullen, what's your first
I don't
drink there,
know
boss?
about this running business. I mean, I don't love it, but I mean, I'm going to watch the movie. It doesn't matter if I love it or not. I don't like when I first saw the trailer and this giant robot hand comes out, I'm like, oh, Mechanicong's in this one. I'm into it. And they're like, no, not Mechanicong. It's King Kong Hellboy Fist.
Yeah,
and
right.
that's fine. It's that
King
you have to
Kong,
buy
Hellboy
into that
Fist.
reality of those movies. Okay, sure. And I know a lot of people are really upset about Godzilla running. But let's be honest. He also did a flying drop kick.
Right.
That is the most crazy thing you've ever seen when he does that.
Didn't he use his atomic fire breath to like shoot himself in the air like a jetpack?
He flies with his atomic breath sometimes, and that's fine. Now, if you've watched,
wait, how's that work? Like, what's the X-Man that uses sonar? He bounces it and flies on the sonar, bounce back. So he flies like Banshee by using the power of the thrust of his.
Yes, don't say thrust. I don't like that when you say it.
That's not nice.
If you watch that, there's been a trio of Godzilla shorts that have come out recently that fans have made, and they're so good. There's been a Gigan one, a Megalon one, and a Jet Jaguar one that has come out. They've all come out recently, and I think it's the Megalon one. He uses the blast of his fins to propel him up to attack, and that was a cool move. So if that's a cool move, maybe
thrust
running
into attack.
Stop it.
It's one of the forces. Like it's one of the names. That's physics, man.
Don't get scientific on me, you
Okay.
filthy minded
Oh,
thing.
all right. All right. All right. All right. Cool. So let's see your first drink, Cullen.
So since you did your old fashioned, I also did an old fashioned. I'm calling this one the -1 though, because in addition to ranking the movies I liked best over last year, I went on an adventure to rank all the old fashions I tried over the years,
Okay.
and I ranked them all. And my favorite is at this little sushi place not far from where I live. Is a Toki old fashioned. This is an old. So I'm trying to duplicate what they did. I've watched them make this thing several times. It's an ounce and a half of Toki Suntory whiskey, and then an ounce of Woodford Reserve, and then simple syrup, bitters, and this is important, an Amarena cherry, not a Luxardo, Amarena cherry, which may now be my favorite cherry,
Really?
and a scorched
That
orange
is that's
sugar.
that is a bold statement because
I know,
you've been standing by those Luxardos for.
So if I made this correctly, it's going to taste a lot like what I get at this place. And it does. That's delicious. It's a great old fashioned, one of the best I've had. So freaking strong, though. I mean, it is potent. But I call that the -1 because it's my favorite old fashioned, named after my favorite movie of last year.
Nice.
Fair. All right. Cool.
Oh, and I used. I don't think this is the one thing I did. I used Woodford spiced cherry bitters instead of just straight bitters in this one. Now they don't use that there, but that's what I used.
The cherry bitters is your atomic breath, right?
That's right. Fair.
I think that's the first time that I've made a drink, and Cullen's like, "Hey, I need to go buy that stuff," and then he just made a drink, and I'm like, "Hey, well, I've got Santoku up there. What else do I need?" So I'm going to be making that one too. It sounds good.
Yeah, it's a good one. The extra the extra bourbon helps with the whiskey. You know, to me, a whiskey old fashioned doesn't always taste right, but the extra bourbon makes it something special.
So that's a double pour?
Well, there's an extra ounce of bourbon in it in addition to the.
So it gets better with every sip.
Gets better every sip.
Cullen Bunn is writing Power Rangers Godzilla again.
I believe you mean Godzilla versus the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Part 2.
Godzilla versus the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Who is the publisher on this one?
It's a joint effort by IDW and Boom.
You know, there's a joke in the bullpen that when we find a title that's got 12 words or longer, it's got to be IDW or Boom. And now you've got them both working together, and you've got Godzilla versus the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Part 2 that clocks in at 9. That's not quite as long as the ones we've seen.
Now, the new Godzilla versus the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers book at Boom, it's a joint venture. The first one was rad. Can you? I don't want you dropping any spoilers. I'm going to get in trouble. But
it is collected in trade and available at fine bookstores and comic shops.
And it's a great friggin'
original.
read. There's some really good stuff in there for fans of both of the franchises. Like it is a ton of fun. Is there anything you can kind of give us? I again don't want spoilers.
Big picture.
Give us about the new series we can look forward to, because I'm super stoked for it.
What's different about this one?
Yeah. The first series was super gonzo crazy, right? And but there were several things that I was not allowed to do in that series. I pitched a lot of gonzo crazy stuff in the first one. That I just it wasn't the time. Too soon, Cullen. But when I got the assignment to do this one, I pitched all those elements again, and they accepted. They were like, "Sure, that sounds great. Also, let's include this character. Let's make it crazier." They were all embracing let's make this book crazy. So this new one is insane in terms of what's going to be happening on the page. I don't think anyone is prepared. If you're a Godzilla fan, if you're a Power Rangers fan, you cannot be prepared for what I'm about to do in this book.
I am so excited. I legitimately, this is one of the books I'm looking forward to this year. I cannot wait to read it.
I'm really thrilled about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's the first issue has some crazy stuff in it, but then once you get to the second issue, it's like the gloves, it's like Godzilla tearing off the fat suit and he's TriStar Godzilla underneath.
Right.
It's that dramatic.
Well, it's just funny. I wonder if it's one of those things where like they didn't want the concept to get too crazy or whatever, and they were trying to make sure it was going to sell and things like that. And then you did such a good job on the first one that they were just like carte blanche, go just have at, do what you want.
I think that's a good point. I think they thought let's see if this even works at all.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I'm ready. I was like, I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to write another Godzilla meets the Power Rangers book. So I was pitching everything.
Mhm.
But thank goodness we get to do it all in the next one.
Oh, I can't wait.
Rock and roll.
This is gonna be a good time.
All right, I think producer Eric has one drink that he's prepared for us
I
today.
do have
Why
a
don't
drink,
you
yes. That is
share
true.
that recipe with us,
So
sir?
I call this thing release the aspartame. It's let's see, 1 part Cracker Rum to 2 parts Diet Coke. And I tried doing this once before. I thought it needed bitters. I thought I had orange. I don't. So I tried it with cherry. So
Ooh, that actually sounds really good.
yeah, actually, it does work. It works very well. Like you kind of get like a nice cherry Coke flavor. Surprising amount of vanilla note. I'm not
It
sure
sounds
where
like
that's
Dr.
coming
Pepper.
from, but
Well, that's a
But
good
it's
drink if
pretty
you're on
cool.
a diet. I mean,
yes, yeah, exactly.
I'm always ordering. Like, I can't drink this whole old fashioned because it does not fit into my diet. But yeah, that sounds great. Diet Coke, rum, and a little bit of bitter or cherry bitters. That's
Cherry bitters.
a
Yeah.
good drink.
Well, I haven't eaten all day so that I can justify the amount of carbs are in these drinks. So
I don't get the points for it.
that's my plan. Is like, yeah. For breakfast this morning I had like a lemon slice and some water because I was preparing for this.
I think you should consult a physician next time you plan something like that.
Yeah.
You might want to get some proper medical advisement on that.
Nice.
Oh, but I did want to come back to Godzilla X Kong X Godzilla, or is it Godzilla X Kong?
It's Godzilla X Kong. Godzilla is the bigger draw. When I'm poking at the guys when I say that King Kong is the better monster, or whatever, because in past episodes they've like completely lost it whenever that comes up. But Godzilla is the bigger draw. He's obviously the bigger franchise. He has got way more films. He's got way better films. It feels like with King Kong they try really hard. About once a decade, and they do okay, but it doesn't come anywhere close to the success of Godzilla because it's just not as identifiable. It doesn't have the history. It's really limited, I think, as far as like the types of monsters. Like Godzilla can't, or King Kong can't swim. He can't fly. He's got no breath to like keep him off the ground or anything like that. But yeah, so it is Godzilla not Godzilla versus Kong. I keep thinking it's VS Kong, but it's Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire 2024.
Right. So, what is more unlikely? Do you think an appearance by Space Godzilla or redemption for TriStar Godzilla?
Redemption for TriStar Godzilla is far more unlikely. If they did Space Godzilla right, I might wet my pants, but they would really have to do him right. I mean, he might be a monster that is ideal for one movie and never again because he's so. The movie's not necessarily great, but he's so freaking cool. He's just a cool looking monster. They'd have to do him right. I'd love it. I would love it. I would love it. But then if they screwed it up, I'd be angry.
Yeah, I don't
Cullen
know how
angry
you work it because I don't know if they have more than this. I think this is their last one, right? Like they get 3. It could be wrong, but I feel like this is the last one that they get to do.
I don't know.
2014
I think there's
King of All Monsters versus, and now X. That's 4.
Right. So then 4. Maybe there is a new contract or something.
Maybe.
I think there's a clue in the solicit or the pitch or whatever this is that says a colossal deadly threat hidden within our world. So it's got to be like a subterranean 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 like monster or something, right? Maybe it's what's
Well,
the one with the drill hands?
That's Megalon, and I think
Right.
that is also equally unlikely. I think the villain has been named and I think he's a big mean King Kong.
Yeah, he's like an orangutan King Kong
Yeah.
with like a whip.
He's
Got like
Dr. Zaius. He's Dr. Zaius.
Yeah,
Dr.
right.
Zaius,
This is
yeah.
Dr. Zaius. He's here to enforce ape law.
Yeah. And the toys
it
also
is.
spoil like another kaiju that I haven't seen before. That's also part of the lineup. So I think
Wait.
I think we'll get a 2-on-2 kind of situation.
Mm.
There's another trailer I'm watching in my little picture-in-picture thing. It's an orangutan thing. So some interaction that Kong had with it when it was a baby, and now it's mad about it. And well,
Kong shook that baby.
he's
Don't
breaking
shake
shit.
that baby, Kong.
And now Kong's got all gray in his beard and stuff, and there's this
Kong's just
giant
angry.
egg thing
Shut up, you little
that's breaking open, and
Go
yeah,
fuck sleep.
Yeah,
there's the
Kong gave
orangutan.
that orangutan a wet willy when they were in high school. Completely
Did you say
forgotten about it, and
orangutan?
the orangutan is still miffed to
Wait,
this day.
did you say orangutan?
A lot of
Orangutan,
people
yeah.
say orangutan.
Orangutan.
Get over it.
Yeah.
You know what he meant.
So
I
it's pretty-
The
I-
message got conveyed.
But why?
I'm
Wait, why
pretty
do they got to make? Okay, so there he is. Okay, I've seen him now. He is a giant orangutan, and
Oh my gosh, you have to stress that tan, don't you?
why? Why does the villain have to be a ginger?
Okay, now
And
I
then
gotta see this
another
damn
monster,
thing.
according to Anton.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's
so-
another, I think there's 4. At least there's 4 figures, and it looks like it's going to be more prominent than the what were they Mudos from
Oh, there's a flying thing too, like a pterodactyl. What's that?
probably Rodan.
Or is that
That's
just
Rodan.
them?
That's Rodan Jr.
That might just be them on Skull Island because it mentions that they go to Skull Island, so that might just be the Skull Island dinosaur stuff. Trailer
Rodan was
number
actually
2.
king of all monsters, wasn't he?
Rodan was in King of All Monsters.
Yeah, he did. He had a really awesome. It was the flame like volcano entry thing that he did that was really cool.
All right, well, my second drink here, and this was again just screwing with Cullen and Anton because of the King Kong thing. This one is called the King. It's got peanut butter whiskey, banana liqueur, some Irish cream in there, and I garnished it with a piece of bacon because Elvis is the king, and this kind of reminded me of the sandwiches, the peanut butter and banana and bacon sandwiches, and because King Kong is the king of all monsters. But now we've said that so many times that it's tired, so I'm just going with it's the king, it's an Elvis drink. So there it is. Oh, that is sweet. No thanks. Mm-mm.
All right, so listen, let's just jump right into mine because the ice is melting and it's shocking the wavelength we're on. So on New Year's Eve, we decided to try to make peanut butter cup old fashions, and we made them and they were delicious. But I decided to make a take on that for this, for the King Kong side of things, right? I didn't cook any bacon, but
Bacon is a staple in my fridge. It's just always cooked in
I
my
made
fridge.
this old fashioned. So it's the dueling old fashions. Now get this. This one is a chocolate peanut butter old fashioned, but it's got a little something different. So it's got screwball in it, of course. But I used an ounce of Elvis Midnight Snack bourbon.
Mm.
Elvis Midnight Snack is a bacon banana peanut butter bourbon. So it's going to have, and then I used some chocolate bitters. So, and look at that. I put some oh, they fell off the skewer. I put some bananas in there too, but. Very sweet, very strong,
Yeah.
but super sweet. That's a good dessert drink. Like I'm done drinking for the night, and I'm going to take an hour to drink this. That's the
No,
drink.
it's so sweet that I feel like if I drank it and if that's the last thing that went down on top, that it would make me hurl later. Like I'm not a big fan of the super sweet drinks. I don't mind the like drinks with like essence of fruit and stuff in there, but that's too much sugar. I feel like anything that's got banana in it is just going to be so sickeningly sweet. It's not.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the worst I've ever been sick from drinking was not from the alcohol, but I went to a tiki bar and had a bunch of tiki drinks, and it was the sugar that made me so sick. I was miserable because of all the sugar.
Yeah.
But that don't mean I ain't gonna do it again.
It is kind of interesting because you sent me a note because we send the recipes over with so Eric can make the cards to go up on the thing or whatever, and there was an interesting, like, dang, we made the same drinks. I might just do it. Like, I mean, it's just funny though that like we both had the same, I mean, probably different thought processes, but we came to the same conclusions of what drinks needed to be made for this subject for some reason.
Yeah, mine were all based on drinks I had at the end of the year, and I thought, hey, let's tie it into Godzilla somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things I was at Los Angeles Comic Con last month, and the Pink Ranger was there, and the Red Ranger was there, and I was in the next line over to get my thing signed by Sean Astin, and it was just funny looking back, like the stuff that they were getting signed by the other two Rangers that were there. The Red Ranger was there and the Pink Ranger was there, but all the stuff that they were getting signed was all Green Ranger stuff. And it's just this weird thing. Like if you're sitting up there and all these people paid $80 to get your signature and they hand you something that's not even you, like, how do you feel about that?
Well, I bet they don't care that much. And it could be something they're trying to get all the Rangers to sign, like all the actors. So it could be a piece. I mean, and you have to keep in mind the Green Ranger to the Green Ranger to the Power Rangers is what Wolverine was to the X-Men. He was, he was like the biggest, coolest thing to come along. So he was, I mean, it's a pretty big deal. So it could be something that they're just signing it because they're getting all the Rangers to sign it at various conventions. And he just happens to be the centerpiece of it or whatever.
$80 a pop. And there was one dude that there was one dude, those plastic totes you get like after Christmas to put all your Christmas crap in that, it's $4 at Walmart or whatever. He had 3 of those full of pops and posters and cards, and he paid $80 a pop, and he must have had 300 items. It was so bizarre to watch. Well,
yeah. I mean, a lot of those folks are representing comic shops that are getting stuff for the store, Hey, if they can pay it, more power to them. More power to the
Well,
people.
I'm sure, but at some point, wouldn't you just make like reach out to the person and make an agreement? Like, hey, I'm gonna send you all this stuff. I'm gonna pay you this flat fee or whatever. Instead of standing in line,
you got to worry about shipping and it getting damaged. Like, what we just had happen at Comic-Con was the Secret Santa exchange. I sent one of the the bullpen does a Secret Santa for those of you listening at home. We all go get stuff from like dollar bins and fun single issues and stuff that we think, the person that's on our Secret Santa list will like. We put them in the mailer. We sent them out. My mailer ended up in the complete geographical opposite location of the person I sent it to. I only got a third of the mailer back. It had been ripped to shreds. It looks like a bear has eaten it. There is no comics inside. And then it was in an envelope, like a flimsy envelope from the postal service, with like a form letter that was like, your package was found without its contents. You may have it back. Please call this number if there's a problem. Yeah, there's a problem.
There's a problem. I said it and you didn't deliver it.
Now missing. And I mean,
it looked like a truck ran over it in the snow. I saw the picture of the package and it's got like a tread mark on it.
So, and I mean, like, I got my friends at Found Familiar. They do like they do D&D themed coffee. They sent me their newest blend in December, and it had been like somebody had just poked a hole through it, like a big hole through it. So there was just coffee loose inside the mailer. Like it had gone all the way through the coffee bag itself. So they were very gracious. They sent me another one. They were like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry that happened." But I was just like, "Hey, maybe this is crazy." I ordered a zine the other day, and it had a hole poked through it. I don't know if somebody's just going through my mail. I don't know what's happening.
I think you were onto something with them hiring bears as seasonal employees. I think that's
clearly
right.
We
somebody at your local post office
really just spitting on the mail carrier. Worthless.
But I mean, my mail has been jacked up, so I can understand that. Like, why would you risk it if you're going to get it $80 a pop to get a signature on something? It heats up, the Sharpie runs. There's like a million things that could happen in transit. A bear eats it. There's some cave somewhere in the Midwest where Bigfoot's got your Funko Pop collection now. Like, you don't want that. That's not good. So I can see why you go to a show and get it all signed and done. I mean, it makes more sense to me to do it that way. At least it's
the dude at least had the grace to let them know what was going on at the front of the line, and then go all the way to the back of the line. So the people that paid their $80 to get their one thing signed weren't sitting there waiting for 90 minutes while this guy got 300 things signed.
Yeah, I mean, and like, I'm not, if it's not hurting anybody, I don't want to police how somebody spends their money. If that dude's a big Power Ranger fan and just wants to spend his money to have the Power Rangers sign his stuff, good for him, man. That's cool. Like, in an office.
I'm just saying it's a bizarre business. So like for Sean Astin, right? I think it was $80, but I've had this doubloon that I've taken to every convention trying to get it signed by Sean Astin. And every time he's at the convention, I'm either doing something else at the like I have an interview or a panel or something that I have to cover, or I'm moderating a panel, whatever. So I've never been able to get it signed. So I finally am able to get up there and get this thing signed. But since I have something to sign, they have the 8x10s up there. They won't give you one unless you don't have something to sign. I was like, but I paid the $80 and the picture is part of the $80. And I had to convince the lady standing there that included in my $80 was a glossy and a signature. The signature is going on this, but I get the glossy because I want to do like a shadow box with a doubloon and the map. He signed the map for me. But there's a Goonies picture, one of the promotional pictures. It's got Sean Astin and the other guys all in it, like looking over at something. It's a really cool picture. But I had to like really, really, really talk them into giving me this 8x10. And it's like, dude, you're giving this away to every other person, but because I have something in my hand, I don't get it. That doesn't make any sense. Like, it's included in the price, right? And they're like, yeah, it is. I'm like, so I can have one. They're like, no. Like, that whole signature thing it's a very strange business.
You know why they did it to you, right?
Why is that?
100% because they're Godzilla fans, and you said King Kong, you Godzilla. That's why.
I'm sure they watched.
They watched every episode.
No, and then it was finally, I think it was like his wife who was there. She was like scanning the QR codes. I think it was his wife that was finally like, he's right. He paid the money. He should get the thing. And then when I got up there, Sean Astin gave me the, anyway, it was cool. It was cool. The panel that they did for the Lord of the Rings was actually really good too. That was a good time at LA Con. I think I'm going back next year.
Nice.
Did they say that Sam was the hero of the Lord of the Rings?
No, it's funny because the two Merry and Pippin, they have a podcast.
Okay.
Their dynamic is really good together. And then I didn't know how well who's the other kid that played in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Elijah Wood?
Frodo.
He's like the odd man on the stage, so I didn't know how well they were going to interact together, the four of them. But Sean Astin and Marion Pippin and Elijah Wood or whatever, they just have a really, really good like conversational like energy that it's just really fun to watch. It was a good panel. It was one of the best panels I saw that weekend. And I don't even, I mean, is it LA Con? Yeah. It's like the 25th for every movie now. They're having a 20th anniversary every year because the movies came out 1 year apart. So last year was the 20th anniversary of the first one. This year was the 20th anniversary of the second one. Next year will be the 20th, and they'll just keep coming back for how many movies are there?
20 years?
I think it's
how many years?
It's
What's
20
the
or
anniversary
25.
of Godzilla this coming up? 70, baby.
Yes, yeah,
70.
It's 70 for Godzilla. That's true.
That's right.
Well, see, I have seen all the Lord of the Rings movies. I have not seen all the Godzilla movies. There's too many of them.
That's wild. That means
It is 20 years.
That means Sopranos is older than Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Well, the movie.
So yeah, no, that's
it's time for them to remake it at this point. They'll remake it.
So they have like a standing gig every year for the next 2 or 3 years for the 20th anniversary of just the next film. So they'll be the centerpiece next year. What's that?
Good for them. Godzilla's in the Guinness Book of World Records as the longest running film franchise. Did you guys know that?
Well, now I do.
I got angry years ago. I was at a movie theater and they had like the trivia questions up on the screen before the movie started. And it was a James Bond movie, and it said James Bond is the longest running film franchise. And I was like, "You're out of your mind!"
It's the wording that they use. It's the wording that they use. So
I got super angry about it.
The WWE will tell you.
I threw my popcorn at the guy, and I said, "This is not true." And then I threw my Pepsi in his face. And you know what happened? Every time I go back to that movie theater, there's a hole punched in my bucket of popcorn. It's all spilling out.
No, it's the wording. So the WWE says about Monday Night Raw every single time it comes on, then, now, forever, together. And then they go, the longest running episodic television show in history. I was like, what the hell does that even mean? What is episodic? It's like The Simpsons have been running longer than Monday Night Raw. And they're still running. They're still making new ones. So what exactly does longest running episodic television show mean? Because if it means it's a soap opera, General Hospital and them have been running episodes every week for the last 50 years. Monday Night Raw has only been around since the mid 90s or early 90s, I think. It's just they're phrasing the question in such a way that it's very, very specific, and you're taking it as the longest running franchise ever. But I'll bet you there was some little qualifier in there that made James Bond fit.
Yeah, but The Simpsons only has like 700 some odd episodes. Like One Piece is at like 1,060 something. Like that's
Well, One Piece may have the record. Then I'm saying though that I know that The Simpsons is older and that they're still making shows. So what does it mean? What does episodic television show mean?
Is that the one with the guy with the stretchy arms?
That is the one with the guy with Monkey D. Luffy, King of the Pirates. Monkey D. Luffy will be the King of the Pirates. He is the best.
Wow, this alcohol is really going to my head. I better eat another lemon.
You might want something a little more substantial. I don't know. I just thinking a lemon might not be enough.
Ain't you got some White Castles over there or something?
White Castle, what, dude? Oh,
Don't you have bacon in your fridge? Go eat some bacon.
I do have a ton of bacon in the fridge, but that's for my son.
Oh.
Nannernutters and bacon nannernutters are the new thing in my house.
What
So
is a
fried-
nannernutter?
Okay, you know what a fluffer nutter is?
Okay.
You know what a fluffer nutter is?
I know what a nutter butter is.
No, a fluffer nutter is a peanut butter and marshmallow cream sandwich.
All right, that's.
You've never had one? You never had
I'm
one?
pretty sure my reaction told you that I had never had one.
Oh my god, you should try it. But then recently we upped the game from fluffernutters to fried fluffernutters. So I butter the outside of the bread and I grill it like a grilled cheese sandwich. And then they start to get tired of that. So I'm like, well, bananas and peanut butter works. So we've got nannernutters now, and that's peanut butter and bananas and marshmallow cream. And now we've got fried nannernutters.
Make.
No, yeah, but fluffernutters have been around forever, man. I had fluffernutters when I was a kid.
You don't go to the store and say, "Could you please direct me to the fluffernutter, nannernutter?"
Well, I'm sure, like delis and shit have them. Like, I mean, it's a sandwich. It's a real thing. Look it up. But then, so we added the bananas.
I'm afraid of what will pop up if I Google that. I don't want to know.
You're gonna get on some watch list.
So then we start adding bananas.
Godzilla, Kong, fluffernutter, nannernutter, and I'm gonna open up such terrible vistas of online pornography that I will never be seen again. I'll just be gone forever.
So nannernutter is a fluffernutter with banana, and there's a fried nannernutter, of course. And now my eldest has determined that the best combination is peanut butter, bananas, marshmallow cream, and bacon. And then if he's taking it to school, that's the end of it. But if we're doing it at home, we put the butter on the outside and we fry it like a grilled cheese sandwich. And then he gets a fried bacon nannernutter.
Can you take that to school? I'm always scared to see my kid with peanut butter to school because of the nut allergies in this world today.
Well, I mean, he's not smearing it on the kid next to his face.
You don't care about nut allergies.
Nannernut allergies.
The nannernut combination eliminates.
You know what? When I
The
see
nanner takes the allergy out of the nut. That's how it works.
Oh, all right.
do they not know about marshmallow cream in Missouri? Is this really like a thing? Like you don't know what
fly with this nanner nut sandwich though, because like peanut allergies on a plane.
We know about marshmallow cream.
So what do you do with marshmallow cream if you're not making a peanut butter sandwich? Wait, I need to know this.
Fried peanut butter.
What do you put your marshmallow cream on if you're not putting it with peanut butter on a sandwich?
I don't eat that nonsense.
It's at the store. There are people, your neighbors are making fried nannernutters.
There's a lot of stuff at the store.
I'm gonna move. I swear. If I find out one of them's making it, I'm Godzilla running right out of the neighborhood. I'm gonna turn. I'm gonna launch my atomic breath, and I'm just gonna fly away.
Okay. Well, we've gotten the 5-minute warning from producer Erik. Erik, you could have just said, man, you're right there on screen this time.
But it's just so easy to keep using the internal system.
Okay,
boom.
So I got a note from producer Erik, who's right there. It seems like a really passive thing, but instead of just saying, "Hey guys, we got 5 minutes," he wrote it in the show notes. Okay, so we got 5 minutes left. Let's talk real quick. Cullen Bun, has a website, and on Cullen Bunn's website is where you can find all of his books. You can find the links to his Substack and
I
the
don't use
different areas.
Substack anymore.
Oh, never mind. It's not
You
the
can,
Substack.
you
Forget
can
fuck
find a link
Substack.
to my newsletter though.
You can find the link to his new newsletter. You can find his products and his schedule for where he's going to be appearing. I know he's going to be at Planet Comic-Con in the middle of March, where he's going to try his first fried Nannernutter.
I have all my food already planned for Comic-Con. Sorry.
Are you one of those guys that eats the canned food out of their hotel room and nothing else?
No, their Kansas City is
There's lots of food to have in Kansas
a lot
City.
of great food to have in Kansas City.
We're not going back to that Mexican joint because those were the worst fajitas I've ever had in my life.
Let me explain this to you, Brendan. You may not be going back to a Mexican joint, but I am going to a Mexican joint. I don't care which one it is.
No,
But
not that one. That's what I'm saying. That one was
You-
terrible. I'm sure there's good ones
I don't
there.
think you understand. In the grand scheme of this, you are the Rodan of our group. You have no say. If you want to go with us, you will go to whatever Mexican joint we go to.
That is
I'll be pulling a Nannernutter out of my jacket pocket to eat.
he's
That's
not
fine.
wrong.
But I am a creature of habit, and I go to certain places every.
There's a
Planet
place. What is
Comic-Con.
it? It's right up the street from the hotel I stayed in last year, but it's a restaurant that is also in Bakersfield that was there, and I was so happy to see it. They've got like 25, 30, 50 different kinds of beer on tap.
McDonald's.
No, beer on tap at McDonald's?
Oh, you're talking about Taps on Main,
No. It's
That's cool. The Yard House.
it's called the Yard House. That's it.
Mm.
Yes, let's go to the Yard House. I like
That's
that.
a
We'll
chain
go to
restaurant.
Taps on Main, and we'll like it. So,
Okay, Taps on Main then. That's I'll do that. They got good beers. I'm good. I'm not
All right,
eating that nasty Mexican.
Circling back though, people need to go to cullenbun.com.
yes.
Right, that's what we were talking about this whole time. This is just a lead-in to cullenbun.com.
Cullenbun.com. From there, you can subscribe to my newsletter, which comes out every week and is full of beautiful information and
And they're amusing. They're funny because Cullen actually has some interesting little tidbits and stories and stuff from his
Sometimes they're
real life
sad.
experiences. And yeah, well, I mean, sad for you, funny for me. I'm just saying.
Sometimes I'm
It's-
sad.
Yeah, cool. All right, so that is Cullen Bunn from cullenbun.com. I'm Brendan Allen from Comic-Con. That's Anton from Comic-Con, and producer Erik is our editor-in-chief over at comiccon.com. Thank you so much. This was Happy Hour number 14, Godzilla again. We'll see you next time.